I now call this committee whole meeting of the Davenport Community School Board of Directors to order. First item of business is the Davenport Schools Foundation Scholarship winners.
Today we have Amy Wells, the director of the Davenport Schools Foundation, to talk to us about our scholarship recipients for this year. Thank you for coming tonight, Amy.
Great, thank you. Thank you for having me here. Oh, that's on, perfect. My name is Amy Wells, and I'm the executive director of the Davenport Schools Foundation and an alumna of Davenport Central High School. I am thrilled to be here to share our good news with you about some great students in the district. In 1990, 31 years ago, the Davenport Schools Foundation began its scholarship endowment with our first scholarship. Today, the Foundation scholarship funds exceed $1.25 million, and the scholarship committee oversees more than 30 scholarships. This year, we have awarded over $105,000 to graduating seniors at Central, North, and West. Plus, we are awarding an additional $30,000 in yearly recurring scholarships. Members of the Scholarship Selection Committee include Sherry Freeze and Manny Fritz, and some local business owners, Tom Kettleson, Susan Perry, Marilyn Peters, Dan Reefy, Barb Riley, and Craig Van Hook. This year, the foundation provided a certificate to all of our winners and a yard sign that you can see here on the front, so that scholarship recipients can share their accomplishments with their friends and neighbors. To the extent that the students have provided the information to me, the following slides will indicate the student's choice of college and their intended major. So with that, here are the student award recipients for 2021. The Brian Keppy Memorial Scholarship is a $500 award to a West High senior. The scholarship was created by the family of Brian Keppy, a Davenport West High School alumnus who passed away in May 2011 at the age of 21. The award is given to an individual who best represents Brian's devotion to academics and athletics. They must have participated in athletics for all 4 years of high school and shown dedication to the weight room, along with maintaining an overall GPA of 3.0. The Keppy family selected Emily Lemon as this year's winner. The Buttleman Arbesire Journalism Award of $500 goes to a Central senior, McKenna Verdon. The recipient must have experience with the Blackhawk Central High School newspaper and an intention to major in a communication-related field. The George Weiss Memorial Scholarship of $500 awarded to a West senior interested in career technical education and is chosen by the Industrial Technology Department at West High School. The committee selected Hunter Rolk to receive this year's award. The $500 Jack L. Hudson Memorial Scholarship for a West High Science senior student goes to Tierra. Established by Dr. John Thiel from the class of 1965, it is in recognition of the positive impact West High science teacher Jack Hudson had on him, his friends, and many students. The recipient is selected by the science teachers at West High from seniors who have shown an interest in science. Selection is based on academic achievement, extracurricular activities, moral character, and community involvement. Jack Hudson, a retiree from West High School, passed away in 2015. Ashlyn Utterbach is awarded the John Charles Lee Memorial Scholarship. The $500 scholarship, established by his family in 2020, commemorates John Lee's 34-year history at Williams Junior High as a teacher and athletic director, and gives preference to district students interested in entering the field of special education. Not sure what all that is. Brenda, thank you. Allison Greenwood is the winner of the $500 Dr. Lisa Arbesire Scholarship. The scholarship was initiated by Dr. Arbasire's mother, the famous Dr. Joyce Brothers, to honor her daughter Lisa, who was a founding member of the Davenport Schools Foundation and the first president of our board. And Lisa continues to play an important role in our organization today. Oops. Uh-oh. Brenda. Sorry. Bear with me, sorry. Oops, Tara. Now what did I do?
This is 3.
Pardon? It's good? Sorry about this. Charles. Yes, Michael Rose, yes. Michaela Rose Duval Award of $500 for a district senior student is awarded to Adam Burke. This scholarship was created by the family of Michaela, who passed away in 2015 at the age of 20. The recipient must have participated in athletics all 4 years of high school, with plans to participate in intercollegiate athletics. Special consideration is given to track and field athletics. The North High School Music Scholarship of $500 goes to Andrew Savely, selected by the North High music staff and awarded to a senior who has taken part in music programs all 4 years of high school. They must have a 3.25 GPA, scholastic achievement, extracurricular activities, and community service. This scholarship, funded initially by John Weiss with additional contributions from the North High Music Boosters, is in memory of John Weiss's wife, Hane Fujiwari Weiss, who taught in the Davenport schools. Matthew Rice was selected by the West High Music staff to receive the $500 West High Music Scholarship. The scholarship award is given to a senior, just like at North, who has taken part in music programs all 4 years of high school. They must have a 3.25 GPA, scholastic achievement, extracurricular activities, and community service. The scholarship, again, was originally funded by John Weiss in memory of his wife, Hane Fujiwari Weiss, who taught in Davenport schools. Hunter Torsney will receive a $600 Betty Nelson Career Technical Scholarship. This is designed for senior students pursuing a career at a technical school, trade union apprenticeship, or community college. This scholarship is to recognize the talents of students who complete high school with the intention of becoming productive members of society through careers that do not require a 4-year college degree. The Davenport Schools Foundation has awarded 3 Carol Herring Memorial Scholarships, each for $600, established by the Herring family to honor their mother's 40-year teaching career in Davenport, including a long period of teaching at Eisenhower Elementary. Recipients must enter the field of education and share Mrs. Herring's teaching passion. This year's award recipients are Caitlin Duvall, Sophia Heller, and Lexus Skiles. The Dr. Paul E. Johnson Memorial Scholarship of $724 commemorates the birth date of Dr. Johnson, July 24th. July, the 7th month of the year, and the 24th day, hence the reason for the $724. Dr. Johnson was an educator and former North High principal and the voice of the Falcons at Grady Stadium. This year's winner is Matthew Rice. The Central High class of 79 scholarship was inspired by this class's 35th class reunion. Alums were inspired by members of Central classes from 59 and 64 who had previously established endowed scholarships. The award was created to assist a Central graduate with financial need that has a 3.25 grade point average. This $1,000 scholarship is awarded to Sarah Holtum. Funds were donated in appreciation of the class of 79's own education and the teachers who helped advance their education and their careers. The Davenport Schools Foundation Scholarship of $1,000 was started by an initial gift from Elizabeth Schaller, a former West High guidance counselor. In 2014, the foundation board designated the award for minorities to promote college attendance among underrepresented groups. This scholarship gives preference to district applicants who self-identify as a minority, including African American, multiracial, Asian Pacific Island, Hispanic, or Native American. This year's award is given to Sydney George. The $1,000 Davenport High School class of 59 scholarship is given to Sierra Kane. This scholarship is available to students at any of the Davenport community high schools who exhibit academic performance, extracurricular activities, and community service. We have awarded 2 Jason Blair Roberts scholarships, each receiving $1,000. This scholarship was created by the family and friends of Jason Roberts, a 1990 Central graduate and Davenport City civic leader who died a tragic death in 2018. This year, 2 scholarships are awarded to Central High minority students who best exemplify the character of Jason Roberts. These awards are being given to Sierra Craig and Sydney George. The Geraldine Tallman Women's Athletics Central Scholarship is a $1,000 award intended for a Central senior women who participated during high school in either varsity tennis, varsity basketball, or varsity volleyball, and plans to continue at the collegiate level. This year's winner is Martha Fay. The family of Marie Link Powell established a $1,000 scholarship in honor of their mother, who taught in the Davenport district for 34 years, including 20 at Fillmore Elementary. According to Mrs. Powell's wishes, it is given annually to a district senior student intent on majoring in education. This year's winner is Lexus Skiles. The Davenport Schools Foundation has awarded 3 $1,200 each Helen G. Polling scholarships, 1 at each high school. This scholarship, established by Mrs. Bachner and her daughter Helen Polling, a district administrator, is awarded annually to 1 student from Central, North, and West. A selection committee at each school nominates 3 graduating seniors, and the winner is selected by the Foundation Scholarship Selection Committee. This year's recipients are Central Gabrielle Baldry, Brady O'Neill at Davenport West, and Casey Scott from Davenport North. The Daryl D. Spons Memorial Scholarship is open to 2 graduating seniors from any Davenport Community High School. Is awarded at $1,250 each. It was established by the Spons family to reward students who are intent on entering education as a teacher, administrator, counselor, coach, whatever. Dr. Spons has a long history in the Davenport schools that you can see here, as well as many other school, community, and church roles. These awards are being given this year to Ola Lua Johnson and Sophia Heller. There are 2 Jerry Juergens Athletic and Academic Scholarship winners, each receiving $1,500 scholarships. Students are nominated by coaches, and winners are selected by a committee of coaches along with the athletic director at Central. Selection is based on scholarship and citizenship. This year's awards go to Nathan Canfield, Paige Pearson. The Central High School Hall of Honor scholarships student recipients are required to have a 3.0 grade point average, scholastic achievement, extracurricular activities, and community service. There are 8 of them this year, and they are awarded to Paige Pearson, Davenport Central, Madeline Sotos, LaDalia Gallagher, Sydney George, Rachel Salas, Meredith Sloat, Elizabeth Weber, and Asher Leverage. The Friends of West Scholarship this year is given in memory of Robert Bob Williams, a teacher and coach at West who died this year in March at the age of 96. Bob was also affectionately known as the Hershey Candy Man in Long Grove, as he handed out king-size Hershey bars to folks every day for 15 years. So this is Bob with his refrigerator loaded with Hershey candy bars. Memorials in his name were given to add to the scholarship fund this year, and the foundation board chose to give the award in memory of Bob this year. The Friends of West Scholarship is given in memory of Bob Williams, a teacher and coach at West. Derek Irwin receives the Friends of West Scholarship, a $1,500 award. Initially, the scholarship was inspired by generous startup gifts by Dr. Tony and Mary Williams and Robin Tusak. Additional funding has come from West High alumni, students, businesses, teachers, and friends. In honor of their 50th class reunion, the class of '66 joined in an effort to add additional funds to make this scholarship a reality. McKenna Jans receives the $1,500 Jack King Music Band Scholarship, awarded to a senior who has participated in band for all 4 years of high school and plans to take part in music programs at the collegiate level. Dr. Susan Perry and her husband Stan Goodyear created the award to honor Mr. King, who taught in the Davenport schools, for his long-term devotion to music and young people. The Central High School class of '64 Future Educator Scholarship is awarded to Sierra Craig. This scholarship originated as a 50-year class reunion project from a very large graduating class of 570 students. Within 3 months of their 50th reunion, the class, headed by a 4-member fundraising committee, raised over $30,000 from 155 donors enabling them to establish this $2,000 annual award for a central senior intending to major in education. The Mary Means Memorial Scholarship for $2,000 is awarded to Erica Contreras. This scholarship, created by Mr. Lewis Means, a retired West High counselor, honors his late wife's lengthy service as a Davenport Community Schools teacher. It is awarded to a district senior student intending to major in family and consumer science or education. There are two $4,000 Central High School Hane Fujiwara Weiss Music Scholarships, funded by John Weiss in memory of his wife who taught in the Davenport schools. These scholarships are distributed over 4 years of college and they are awarded to one male and one female senior. Nominations come from teachers. Students must have a 3.25 grade point average, scholastic achievement, extracurricular activities, community service, and participation in Central High School music programs. This year awards are given to Owen Crowder and McKenna Jans. Tierra Sope is the recipient of the $4,000 Joan Kilberg Lowen Scholarship, split between the first two semesters of the freshman year. This fund was started in 1996, honoring Joan, who lived in Davenport as a child and always regarded it as her hometown. Since she received most of her early education in Davenport, where she acquired a deep respect for learning, the family chose the Davenport Schools Foundation as the recipient of the Memorial Fund. Student recipients must have a 3.25 grade point average and scholastic achievement. The Jane Grady Memorial Scholarship for Academic Excellence goes to LaDelia Gallagher. This $5,000 scholarship is distributed in installments of $1,250 over 4 years to a graduating female student from the Davenport School District who is proficient in English, math, and science. The recipient must maintain a 3.0 grade point average in college to receive the recurring payments. The Jan Mutum Educator Opportunity Scholarship for West High is a $10,000 scholarship awarded this year to Riley Rommel. This scholarship is distributed in installments of $2,500 each year over 4 years. The scholarship goes to someone who is passionate about becoming a teacher and intent on entering the field of education as a teacher, administrator, counselor, coach, whatever. Jan Mutum's children, all of whom attended West High, generously donated the funds for this scholarship to honor their mother for her hard work and sacrifices to meet the needs of her children after she was widowed. The Scholarship Selection Committee conducts interviews with student applicants for awards of $1,500 or higher, and several of the scholarship donor families participate in this process. This year, and I'm going to try to say this without crying, after interviewing the student applicants, the generous and compassionate Jan Mutum family made a gift to the foundation to award a one-time $20,000 scholarship paid over 4 years. Tariq Newman received this award. This is in addition to the original $10,000 award received by Riley Rommel. Tariq is an especially deserving West High senior student. The Katherine Bell Tate Scholarship is awarded to the son or daughter of a full-time Davenport Community School District employee. The scholarship is named in honor of Mrs. Tate, a former 4th grade teacher at McKinley School, who gave her students a love of learning and is funded in her memory by her family. Meredith Sloat is this year's award winner of the Katherine Bell Tate Scholarship. Meredith is the daughter of Gary and Bonnie Sloat. Gary is the District Director of Learning and Supports and has been employed by the district since 1996. This $18,000 annual scholarship is $4,500 per year for 4 years. In addition to being the son or daughter of a district full-time employee, additional criteria include outstanding academic performance, extracurricular activities, and community service. In addition to this year's award recipients, we have 5 scholarship funds that are renewable and will pay out nearly $30,000 to student winners from the classes of 2018, 2019, and 2020. And we do not do this alone. We want to thank the district counselors, one from each high school that has scholarships as their priority. They encourage the students to apply, and they assist the foundation in facilitating interviews and selections. And congratulations to all of our scholarship recipients. Thank you. Any questions?
Allison, you got no questions? Come on.
They're great students. We had over 140 students apply, and I believe there were 40 students that received awards.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you so much for the work that you all put in to select the students for this and for making all of this happen. I know it means a lot to the students. It means a lot to the district. So thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any other questions? I'll echo the same thing. It's awesome to see all these students get that. I would like to see it spread out between more schools instead of all to Central, but I'm sure the Blue Devils in the back love it. But hey,
We have a lot of donors that are passionate about Central. I would love to have more scholarship funds at North in particular. I think we're very limited there, and West. And we do have many scholarships that are offered district-wide. So,
that was a great thing. Director Kleindrum.
You talked about different classes donating money. What amount of money would they need to donate in order to establish a scholarship in the district?
our parameter, we base a spendable amount out of a fund of 5% of the balance of the fund over a 5-year period. That magic number is just short of $12,000 to award a $500 scholarship annually to keep the funds going. And obviously, if you want to award $1,000, it's in the range of 22 or 24,000. A scholarship fund that's awarding $18,000 a year for the Tate is over $300,000 because it's giving out $18,000 a year.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have great donors and a great scholarship committee that makes this all happen. So I thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, thank you, Amy, for that wonderful presentation. I think one of the highlights of that is you look at the outstanding talent that we have in our district and where they're going post-secondary. Not only are they some of the most prestigious universities in the country, but also trades. And so you can see that our students are maximizing their potential. That was a highlight for me for that. And so, Amy, thank you for sharing that. Obviously, we would like to get back to seeing our students shaking hands, taking pictures, And so we look forward to that next year.
I hope so next year, definitely.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is the youth leadership teams update.
So, as you can see, we have some Davenport Schools employees with us today, but we also have some students with us today. And I have to comment on how well behaved our students are being. That was a long presentation. Thank you for waiting with us, and particularly the little ones back there. Holy cow, what an awesome job you're doing, just sitting still. You know, it's very easy to act up in those things, and you haven't done that yet. So thank you so much. What wonderful children you have and students that we have. So thank you for that. We've got Dr. Klipsch is going to come up and talk to us about our youth leadership teams, where we are today. And then we have some students that are going to share what that looks like inside of our schools. Very excited about this. You know, when we talk about crisis response, violence prevention, we are also the P in there. The prevention part is probably the most important. And this is the first step in heading in that direction. And what you're going to see in here today are the first steps of that. And some pretty innovative uses for this team. So with that being said, Jake, if you wouldn't mind getting us started, so that way we can sooner hear from the people that we want to hear from.
Absolutely. And Joe, yeah, if you hit present, perfect. And while I'm sitting here, and I'll come up in a second, but Truman, if you're here with Truman presenting or a facilitator, if you can come up and take a seat, I want to see how much space we have, and then we can add wood if there's room. So whoever is presenting, when we get, I'm going to speak first, but I want you to be ready to go. So you can go ahead and grab a seat. Yes, you get to be with the microphones. It's pretty exciting. Yeah, they can just share the microphone. And then since there is room, it looks like we have plenty of room. So why don't we have whoever is coming from wood also to come on up too? I just wanted to see how much space we had, and that way there's less transition.
That light turns green.
All right.
And then it broadcasts all over the universe.
Perfect. Wonderful. So I'm going to speak first, and I guess I'll just jump up there too. But I'm going to speak quickly because you don't want to hear from me right now when we have these students here ready to speak. So thank you again for coming. Thank you, parents, for being here and supporting your child also. So I'm going to give a quick review of where we've been with our youth leadership teams. As you recall, it was that kind of the third phase of our trainings for crisis response and violence prevention. And as Mr. Superintendent Schneckloss said, the youth leadership teams is really that crucial piece for student voice for solving the big problems of our district. So we're so glad to have students here because adults have been trying to solve a lot of problems for a long time, and obviously we still have some problems. And so we need students to give us their great ideas on what some of these ideas can be to help us to better serve all of our students, families, and staff. Next slide, please, Joe. So in April, we had our youth leadership teams trained. At each building, there's anywhere between 10 to 15 students that are representative of the diversity of their school. We train 3rd through 11th graders so that we're prepared for next year having 4th through 12th graders trained on these teams. And building principals were also provided a list of the demographics of their building, with the goal to match the demographics of the building to the demographics of their youth leadership team, because we wanted to make sure that all students were represented of this team. They all had a voice so that we could celebrate the great diversity and experiences of all of our students as we help to, again, try to find great solutions for our staff. And so that was kind of the initial training and that overview. Next slide, please, Joe. This is the model that they were trained in and that they're intended to use moving forward. And you can see on the left side there, these are the big areas of our youth leadership team, which is engage, investigate, act, and reflect. And then you can see within each of those, there are subcategories. So the big idea, we've been talking about physical and emotional safety for everybody. And then so the students then had to determine who's our audience, what's the question, the essential question we want to pursue an answer for, what's the challenge we want to solve. You know, at Truman, the challenge they might want to solve would maybe different than at Wood, maybe different than at Central or any of the other schools. So they got to determine with their team, what's that challenge? And then instead of going straight from the challenge to like trying to find a solution, they have to do a little research. What are the questions we need to ask to solve that challenge? What are the activities we need to do? Is there a survey? Is there a interviews with staff? What are the things we need to do to figure out what the answers are? And then they go into implementing their solutions and figuring out, did that work? What do we want to do next? So that is the very brief and broad overview. And I think it was like a 2-hour training for students. You remember that training? So it was pretty intense. It was a lot of work to go into that. And then they hit the ground running. On the next slide, please, Joe. This is my last slide here. So we have, I guess we'll start from the bottom. Our facilitators who are with us here in a room today from each of the buildings. We have at least one facilitator at every elementary, and then 2 or more sometimes at our secondaries. And so next year they'll have like a quarterly meeting with just facilitators to say, how's it going? Are we doing okay? Do you have questions? Our youth leadership teams, their goal is to meet at least monthly, and I think some are meeting already more than that. But the goal next year is that on a monthly basis, those teams are meeting. And then we hope to have, and we haven't kicked this off yet, starting next year, a district youth leadership team also, where one student from each team would be representative on a district team, and they'd come into a room like this and have kind of a more of a district view with student voice involved with it. So that's kind of the team structure and next steps for next year. So we have, next slide please, Joe, and there's a few to click through. Go ahead, keep clicking. So we have Truman Elementary School, we have Wood Junior High School, and we have Central High School. And I'm going to first turn it over to Emily Meyer from Truman, and she can introduce her representatives here. And so if you go to the next slide, and students, there you go. You got to hit the green button there, and then you talk into it. And whenever you want the next slide, there's a man behind the counter back there that is telling us to go to the next place. So I'm going to turn it over to your team.
Thank you. Okay, so I am Emily Meyer. I am the librarian at Truman Elementary School and one of the 3 youth the facilitators for our leadership team. We've been lucky enough to have a leadership team at Truman already, and I've been with them for the last 2 years. And these 3 lovely ladies are rocking it, and they've been on our team for the last 2 years as well. So they decided what they wanted to say for this, and this is all about them, so I'm going to let them take it away.
Hi, my name is Jaslyn. I am in 4th grade, and I like being on the team because I get to help people.
Hi, my name's Evelyn, and I'm in 6th grade, and I like being on the student leadership team because I feel important and because people care about what I say.
I am Lamaya. I'm in 6th grade, and I like being on SLT because it makes me feel like I have an opportunity to help people in ways that I normally don't get to. We had an awesome experience at the training. The way they explained the purpose of our team and the goal was easy to understand and well organized. We were able to learn a lot of new information about what our job is going to be. We liked that we got to meet the district leaders, even though it made us a little nervous. We think that it's important that this team exists because students get more of behind the scenes look at the issues, the part adults aren't able to see. This helps us know what we need to fix.
According to the Conditions of Learning survey in 2019, about 30% of all students in Davenport schools didn't feel emotionally and physically safe. As a group, we brainstormed what made our team feel safe. Our team decided that we feel safe when we are around people we trust. Our team created a new survey based on the Conditions for Learning survey and added a few more questions to get immediate answers so we can act faster so we don't have to wait since the survey results won't come back until next October. In addition, we told them that the survey was anonymous so they were more likely to be honest.
Some of these results from our survey: about 20% of Truman 3rd through 6th graders feel like their emotional safety is affected often or very often. This includes being called names, being left out, and people telling lies about them. We also asked our classmates questions about what makes them feel safe at Truman. They said that teachers and staff and other students help them feel safe because we know that we can trust them. The things that don't make them feel safe includes kids touching them and saying mean things about them. Our next steps as a leadership team will be to bring awareness to these issues and work towards creating solutions in order to help our classmates feel safe.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. hearing them talk about conditions for learning and data and what they're going to do. Okay, that's not about me, but I am that was excellent. Oh my gosh, that makes my heart so full. I'm going to turn it over now, and then we'll have questions at the end. So don't go anywhere. To Shannon Knock, one of our counselors from Wood, and you can introduce your student.
Hi, my name is Shannon Knock, obviously, and this is Divine. She's an 8th grader at Wood. I'm very happy she came with me tonight. If we can go to the next slide, we'll show you, this is our team right here. And as I'm looking at these young ladies, I'm thinking how exciting it is that a bunch of girls showed up tonight, because most of our team is made up of males. And Divine is, said she'd come, and I think that's great. So I'm very happy she's here with me. But she's also going to talk a little bit about what we've done this year so far. We also looked at the conditions for learning survey. We kind of broke that apart, and our 7th grade team, which is, as I said, mostly males, they went into the classroom and they helped present for us, and they also gave us student perspective on some of the questions. So that has been their role a little bit. And then I'm going to have Divine talk a little bit about the 8th grade portion. She will go on to North next year, so we're sad that she's going to leave us. Next slide.
Oh, snap. That's scary. Okay. I can't do this. No, I can't.
I'll help you out. Okay, so at the last meeting, as we were talking about the youth leadership team, we started to realize that we needed to teach the kids a little bit more about what it means to be a leader, rather than just throw them out there and say, hey, we expect you guys to go and lead other students in the building. So one of the activities we did a trust building activity. So that's the picture you're seeing right there. And then we tried to see who were going to be our natural born leaders in the group, and then who were going to kind of be our followers. So we talked a little bit about that, and then we also broke down the word leadership, and the kids, they did this part of the activity. They came up with all of these words that we put with leadership, and then we talked about how there can be positive leaders, and then sometimes there are negative leaders, and we want positive leaders in our group. So why don't you go ahead and read the leadership.
Our goals for next year, well, I'm going to be at North. To continue to build positive student leaders in the building, analyze data from the conditions from learning survey. No, for learning survey. Develop relationships with our incoming 7th grade class. Plan activities and work with students. Identify with intellectual disabilities. Bro, I can't see.
You can look at that screen. It's a little bit closer.
Our activity was like we put our hands into like a ball and tried to like get out. It didn't work, but like we were like talking through it, and like we almost got out. We were close to it. It teaches like communication and stuff.
So we are excited about some of the things that we're going to be able to do with this next year. Like we said, we've only had 3 meetings this year with our students because we were assigned this in April. But the 3 meetings that we have had, it's more of trying to get the kids to know each other. They don't all know each other very well. And just talking about what do you want to see, what kind of change do you want to see in our building next year. And then we'll also start working a little bit more with how do we go to administration within our building, how do we feel comfortable, how do we talk to the principal, the assistant principal, if you want to see some change in the building. So that's where our whole idea is going.
Thank you, Divine. That was awesome. We really appreciate hearing what you're up to. I see, is it 2 students from Central? Yes. And Miss Jasper, I see you too. Respectfully, Miss Wells, could you change places so the students from Central can come join you, and maybe Miss Jasper as well? And then Director Snyder, could they borrow your microphone?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Next slide, please, Joe.
Until it turns green.
Okay.
So while they're getting set up, we have Trish Jasper here from Central, and I also see a couple other Central staff here as well, but I'll let Miss Jasper introduce her student team, or members of her student team.
Sounds good. Hello, I'm Trisha Jasper. I'm an innovator and the youth leadership facilitator, obviously. And I would like to introduce these awesome young ladies that came with me tonight. I have a feeling you will see them on the board again with the Great Minds people, because these ladies are going somewhere, I'm telling you that. So I have Adriana Mayfield. She is a junior at our school. And I also have Clea Phillips. She is a 10th grader at our school. And they're going to, first of all, we've only had 2, maybe 3 meetings, so we're getting our feet wet. But one of the things about our high school kids, maybe a little bit different than the younger ones, is that they are busy, busy, busy. And so they really had to buy into this whole idea. So they're going to first share their why. Why is this important to them? And they're going to each tell you some of their hopes and dreams for what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to turn it over to them.
Hello, my name is Adriana Mayfield. As Ms. Jasper said, I am a junior at Central. I wanted to be a part of the Blue Devil Student Leaders, mainly because I wanted to give students that don't feel like they have a voice within our building, that they can have a voice. I also wanted to make students within our school feel like I, and along with my other members of the group, are a safe place for them. They can come when they're having issues within the school, and they can feel safe with us to dish out those issues instead of having to go to a teacher or a principal or their counselor. My biggest reason for joining was just to be able to impact the students within the building. Like, I see just what goes on in their daily lives, and I see that a lot of our students spend 8 hours of their day at Central. So of course that's probably where they're going to act out, or they're going to show their issues 9 times out of 10. Some of my biggest goals myself within this group, hopefully to kick off the year next year, we'll be able to do a expo for our minority students, bringing in community leaders, business owners, anybody that is somebody that is a minority within our community, just to show our minority students, like, these people came from the same background as you. These people look like you, and you can be this one day. You just have to not let your environment make you. You have to make your environment. Hopefully within the next year, us having more meetings, we'll be able to develop within our school a better system on how to handle our troubled students that we deal with on a regular basis, just so that they're not constantly dealing with counselors. They're not constantly dealing with principals and teachers. Maybe when they're having issues, they deal with us, our student leader group, instead of being sent to the principal's office, and 9 times they're sent home, suspended, things like that. So just try to avoid things like that beforehand.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Clea Phillips. I'm a sophomore at Central High School. I'm 15. So excited to be here, get to talk. This is amazing. So I chose to be involved with this group because it's really just the best way for me to voice my opinions, concerns about, everything going on in the school district and in the community, really. It's been amazing. It's really let me know how important my voice is. When I first got the opportunity to talk, everyone was like really excited about it. I was like, why? I'm just talking. But it's really just because that's not something that you usually see in a lot of places. It's been awesome. And I want everyone to feel that way. I want all teens, all young kids to have the opportunity to get their voice heard and just feel heard, I feel like in this country right now, the voices of young minority students are being silenced, and that's heartbreaking to watch. But setting up a group like this is amazing because you're giving those students the opportunity to feel important and feel heard and allow their voice to resonate. with such power. So yeah, that's why I joined. And then some goals I have are tackling the minority crisis in our schools and communities through education on certain issues that we have going on right now. Also stopping the cycle of poverty and violence in our communities, which is huge right now, especially in our classes. We've seen a lot of that firsthand. And then also like setting like a clear disciplinary action plan so that every single person, no matter what you look like, race, gender, you get the same treatment. You know, when you have a phone out, when you're talking to your friend in class, we want everything to be the same, and just hopefully providing equity throughout our school district will make the schools and this community a better place. So, yes.
So as you can see, we got some big plans.
Yes.
So if you would go to the next slide, please. So these are baby steps so far, and the young ladies are going to share that.
Yeah, so this is our 2021 through 22 action plan. So one of our first things we wanted to do was get to know each other better, especially our incoming 9th graders, because we didn't know them at all. And then just hopefully building our collaboration skills together.
2 other goals that we have for next year are to be able to come through Central Conditions of Learning survey results, because we haven't got to do that. Sounds like you guys did. We haven't got that chance quite yet. And then just solidifying like our team goals, like what we have as goals as individuals, and bringing them together to make a great roadmap for next year and the achievements we want to achieve within our building and out of our building, hopefully.
Thank you so very much. I think just in listening to all of you speak, I realize that sometimes the best thing that we as adults could do is just stay out of the way, because you are amazing leaders. I can tell that already, and just hearing you speak is, my heart is so full. So I'm going to just let our board, if they have questions. Oh, was there another one? Sorry.
So can you briefly talk about how Central utilized their recently?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Another piece too, and actually I might defer to Ms. Jasper on this. In addition to their work, there were recently interviews completed for a position that they had. And Ms. Jasper, do you want to talk about your incorporation of that?
I wasn't sure if I was able to share all that, but I was super excited if I could.
Yeah. No names about any candidates or anything,
no,
but just the process.
I'm going to talk about how they
Sure.
were involved. So we've obviously had an associate principal opening at our school, and we were very excited to have the opportunity to have a small panel representative from our group to pose questions to them about things that our group was concerned about. And so as a full group, we went around and I gave all the kids a 3x5 card to generate questions if they had the chance to talk to those candidates. What were some of their personal concerns through our team that they would like to present? So we did that. First of all, I gathered all the cards, and then our students that were picked from our group, and Clea was one of those students. We went through the questions, and we basically categorized them. And the 4 young adults, that were involved in that, we kind of combed through those and decide what were the areas of commonalities. And then they, along with myself, formulated our 4 questions. We were allowed 4 questions of what we wanted to ask. And each one of the 4 student members were able to ask the question that was tied into their passion of all the candidates. And we had some amazing discussions with each of the candidates, and the kids were super excited to be involved. You want to share a little bit? Because Clea was very, very much into this.
I was really just shocked when I was first asked to do this. I was like, whoa, really? I have that much power? Like, wow. Right? So that was awesome. And then we got in there, and then we just started having all of these great discussions, and especially on things that I wouldn't think about either. Like, it's amazing to come together with a group of students because everyone has their own experiences, situations that they're going through, and questions that they have, and things that they want to improve in this district. So, yeah, it was awesome. That's all I can really say. It was amazing.
We had our Google Doc on fire that day because the kids were all in class, and I was working with them. We were shooting stuff all over, but they did a great job, and I was very proud of them.
Yeah, and I was able to see some of the questions that they created, and it was astounding. I was like, wow, those are amazing questions. And it's another example of sometimes we need to just listen to our students more, because the questions that they brought were at such a high level of understanding of what it would take to be, working in our schools. And so thank you for your work with that. That was excellent.
Any questions? Director Hayes.
I guess I have a question, and basically just to let you know I am so proud of each of you. And looking at you literally on your way to being leaders, great leaders in the Quad Cities. With the Divine, I think it was, when you go to North, do you plan on still being on the leadership team?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. Maybe by the time you get freshman or junior, you'll start talking more. It's okay. If you have great ideas in your head, they're not going to do us any good until you get them out. So just practice it. None of us are perfect, and whatever comes to your mind, your opinion is as valued as anyone else. So just feel confident enough to just say it. I was listening to the young ones, and they kind of took off, and it got to you, and you kind of slowed down. And I thought, well, I know she has a lot in her head, because if she didn't, she wouldn't be on the team. So I just encourage you to start speaking up more. I'm not a big talker either, so I kind of understand. But when you have something to say, just bring it up. The two high school young ladies, I am so proud of you all. And yes, your voice does matter. If you want to know something about a person, there's no way you can figure it out unless you ask them. You can say what you want better than anyone else. As an adult, I can't come to Central and say, well, these ladies need this or that or the other, because I would be totally off point. You all continue to speak up and voice your opinions and say what's needed, and that is very helpful to the administration. And just consider it, your part is making our district much better. And I appreciate what all of you are doing.
Joe, can you go to the last slide, please?
Director Beck.
So many questions, but I won't ask them all. First of all, I'm so excited that all the ladies showed up tonight. That really makes me happy. I am a woman who's worked in a male-dominated field, and so it makes me happy when I see women stepping up to get the job done. And all of you are so impressive. It is important. One of the things, I'll start with the high school students. Adriana, your comment about bringing in people who look like the students, right? That's something that I have thought about. How can I, as a board member, facilitate that in our schools? So I'm so happy to hear that that's something that you guys want, and that when you say it, it might happen, because your voice is very important, and even more important than mine. So I appreciate that, and I'm so happy to hear that you guys have such lofty goals. I know it's going to be really hard to do some of those things, but equity and discipline, I mean, that is what we want. That's what we're looking for. I want all of our kids to feel loved, welcomed, and treated fairly. And so that makes me so happy. Divine, I applaud you for being here tonight. And I want to make sure that when you do go to North, that somebody tells you how the ideas that you started this year are working out at your old school. Okay? So make sure that I'll make sure that somebody reaches out to you and lets you know that how your big ideas are turning out. But I'm happy to hear you interested in the North leadership team. That's great, fantastic. And I know it's hard to talk to grown-ups and in front of people. I never used to do it. But you know what? You can always write down what you want to say too. That'll work. And then to the ladies at Truman, so exciting. Oh my goodness. You guys have such great ideas. You are talking about data and looking at the results of surveys, and that, as a scientist, I cannot be more excited about that. Data helps us make decisions and make good decisions. And you guys are modeling that kind of behavior, and that is going to help you so much in the long run. And I love that you took the initiative and asked extra questions because you wanted immediate feedback. And that is so important that you asked what would help your friends feel safe. And so I want to know if you guys think in the next couple of years before you're all done at Truman, you can accomplish that goal of helping everybody at your school feel safe. Yeah? Yeah. Good. That's what we want to hear. Awesome. I'm looking forward to the reports. Thanks, guys.
Director Potts.
I've been involved with the district for a while. Some of the people sitting out there know that.
He hired me.
And your programs come and programs go. I mean, that's the nature of education. But what I'm hearing described by you at all three levels is not a program, but a system. And systems get to function on their own. They develop a life of their own. They develop a culture of their own that breeds on itself and grows on itself. And you pass that culture along, because the system that you're talking about developing here is a system that's going to make our schools better. And when you make schools better, it feeds on itself. It gets better and better and better. And I applaud the students and their parents for, one, allowing them to be engaged in this project, in this system, because it's time consuming and it's going to take you away from some of the other things you may want to do on occasion. But you're going to have a great reward out of this when you change some people's lives, when you see people change the way they function in school because of what you're doing for them, not to them, but what you're doing for them. And that's a tremendous reward. You have a great feeling of self-satisfaction when you cross that threshold.
Director Snyder.
Wow. You guys are all extremely impressive. Real quick, I got the names of the older girls, Adriana, Clea, and Divine. I didn't catch your names, ladies.
My name is Evelyn.
Okay, I did get that one.
My name is Jaslyn.
Jaslyn?
My name's Samaya with a capital M.
Perfect. All right, so my question to you ladies is, how did you hear about this program, and did somebody come to you or did you go to them? How did you get involved in this?
I'm pretty sure it was Miss Meyer, Mr. V came in and said that they were handing out sheets for the SLT, and I decided that I would like to try. So during specials, I went in and I got interviewed for it, and then I got picked.
That is awesome. Again, I mean, you're going to hear a lot tonight how proud we are of you. But when you get to be old people like us, there's a lot of people that don't want to get involved, that don't want to take the steps to do things to make things better. So just the simple fact that you ladies volunteered because you want to make your school day and your school a better place, and you want to put that on your shoulders, is so impressive. So impressive. You guys are going to go so far in life. Don't ever, ever let anybody silence you. Always say what's on your mind. And I'm choking up now because this is huge. We sit in here and we make decisions all the time. And it is about time that we ask the people who our decisions affect the most. And that's you guys. This role you all have is so, so important. So, yes, we're proud of you, but we want you to be proud of yourselves too, because what you're doing is huge.
Director Poston.
Well, I just want to commend the students and the facilitators. like Director Snyder said, getting involved in the process and trying to make things better in your building. But one thing I want you to remember is this is also going to be a plus for your community, because any way you look at it, the school and the community are intertwined. And so when you're working on your projects in school, you know, keep in mind also what's going on out in the community, and because that also affects what's going on in the school. And again, just great job, and look forward to hearing back from you in the future.
Director Klein Jerome.
First of all, I want to hand it to Truman to be ahead of the game, but having this leadership team 2 years already before the district even got on board with this. So I think that's great. And I think it's great that you're all volunteering, because you know what the issues are better than anybody working in that building. You have a neighborhood that you know how that's operating, what's going on in it. You know how kids are reacting to things that adults don't always see and know. So the fact that you understand it and you are stepping up to address those issues, that is terrific. And I'm really impressed that you got to interview for hiring. I taught in this district a whole long time, and people who work in this district don't always get it to be involved in that. So that you did, that is very impressive. That's outstanding. So good job to all of you.
I'll echo what all my colleagues said. You all did a great job, very well spoken. To your parents for coming and supporting you, that's awesome too. Greatly appreciate that. The two little ones in the back, my little guy would have ran all around here and been tugging on my arm, wanting my phone to watch Puppy Dog Pals or something. So they're doing a great job back there. One other thing I wanted to say too, it is nice to have a Mayfield sitting at the table again, and Clyde would be very proud. That's awesome. To the administrators that are here supporting your students, I think that's very awesome. You're taking time that you didn't even need to be here, so that is greatly appreciated and noticed. All of you spoke very well, especially the Truman folks. You ladies represented your school very, very well. I live right across the street from your school, so you did a great job. You're a little shy, but that's all right. You'll get there.
She's not normally.
She's not.
What is it about being on TV and a screen and a microphone and a bunch of people in front of you that makes you doesn't want to talk? Fine. Don't blame you.
It's the only time I get my kids to be quiet too. Put them in a crowd, and then they. It's all right. You'll get there. You'll be in high school next year. We'll probably never get you to be quiet then. And that was awesome that you guys gals were able to be involved with that interview process too. So, I mean, you kind of know what you need in a associate principal and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool, and that's awesome of the administration to allow that. So I think everybody has said everything, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you guys all did great. You spoke very well. Most time people get in here and stumble and get nervous and everything else, especially you ladies. You came in with your plan. I think that's awesome that you were doing it at your school for a couple years before we even started this. Hopefully they got some videos of you and you can go back and show it at your school and everything else, and your parents will be able to. This is all live stream. We are on YouTube, so when you're watching all those other YouTube videos, you'll be able to get on there and see this tonight. So, and you can tell all your friends you're YouTube stars now. Director Beck, I believe you had something.
I just wanted to say you all are the reason why we all are on this side of the table, and we sometimes adults have a tendency to forget that. So thank you so much for speaking up and speaking out and being willing to be leaders, because you are the important voices here, not us. And I can't emphasize that enough. Thank you.
One other kudos. You guys really rep your school very well. I like that. I didn't see any wood stuff, and I didn't see any central stuff going on here.
We got it right here.
That's all right. That's all right. That's awesome. You guys all did very well tonight. Thank you very, very much. This is an awesome kickoff to this, and we're glad to see the things that are going on with this. I'm glad that sometimes we talk about things and it doesn't go anywhere, and this is going somewhere. So I like this a lot. Just keep Jake on or Mr. Klipsch on his toes though with this whole thing. All right. I'm pulling you off the bench.
Oh, thanks.
All right. Superintendent, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Echoing everything that's been said, but I do want to leave you with one thing. And a lot of times teams, task force, there's a lot of talk. And now it's time to start carrying the water from point A to point B. And I think the most exciting part was listening to the actions that can come out of this. And always remember that while teams might not agree, you have to find the common ground. You have to find the place where you can work together and then agree and move forward, because that's where the actions and outcomes will come from your team. So as you move forward on your teams, find that common ground, move forward to where we're carrying the water from point A to B, the action point, because that's when this is going to make a difference. Loved hearing you talk about taking your school and putting in, giving wonderful ideas about the discipline practices. And so all of those things are going to be critical moving forward. So I want to thank all of our administrators. Jake, thanks for putting this together. You got Chrissy, Brian, and John in the back. Thank you so much. And our counselors that are here with us. So thank you guys so much. Andy, back there. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So that concludes our presentation. President Goza.
Perfect. I'll ask one thing. Could we get you all to come up here by the board and take a picture with all of us? And then we'll post it. I'm sure we could get it on our social media page or something like that. And then you'll be Facebook famous too. Was that the last item?
That's it.
You want me to adjourn and do this?
The board.
Can I get a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Needed that one.
Whatever one's kinky.